Hello there, and welcome to the Rogue Podcast, a Star Wars show. I think we all are truly excited about today's episode. Truly, very excited.
Holy.
You have to pardon me. I am a little sick today, so if I cough,
sick nasty because of this episode,
sniffle, that's why. But yeah, I mean, let's just jump into it. Today we are reviewing and recapping episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett, season 1. If there's to be more seasons, I guess we don't really know.
Return of the Mandalorian.
Return of the Mandalorian. I don't think that this came as too much of a shock to any of us. If you listen to our previous episode, we expected to see the Mandalorian Din Djarin in this upcoming episode or this current episode because of the music and the hints that were given to us, as well as if you are much of a fan, you probably watch a lot of Star Wars YouTube like I do, and you see a lot of potential spoilers. So I had even seen a spoiler saying that he was going to have an N1 starfighter. So I kind of was
same.
And we saw that spoiler that, or we were talking, I think that was what we were talking about last time, that, you know, they're having all the issues with, you know, Pedro when they were trying to, you know, rush and get this out there.
Yeah. Well, I actually have some theories on that. This episode seemed like another show entirely.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
And it was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the Rotten Tomato score, which is what we started off with usually when we review this. Now, there's only been 12 critic scores so far,
which is double what is usually there
at this point in one day.
Which I think speaks to more so. Well, I mean, it's kind of like whenever you have reviews, you either have the people that really love it are reviewing first, or the people that really hate it.
Yep.
So, but to have 12 instead of like 5 or 6 people day of, which we usually record day after,
means you have a lot of people. That means you want to give an opinion.
Yeah. So a lot of people,
it's got 100% so far with 12 critics. But I really like some of the comments that were made by some of these people. So the critic consensus is this: Return of the Mandalorian throws into sharp relief how much more interesting Boba Fett should be as a protagonist, but the unflattering contrast doesn't make this interlude any less thrilling or welcome. So pretty much the way that you break that down is this episode was so good and Din Djarin was such a good protagonist that it made the rest of the show and Boba Fett look so bad, you know? Like, honestly, it does. You see the potential that this episode brings, and you're like, why hasn't the rest of the show been doing this?
I thought the same thing tonight.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
A thought that came to mind was, if this is our favorite episode of the show, that speaks very, very poorly of the show.
Yes, it really does. I mean, episode 6 and 7 better turn it around. A few other comments that were made. Yeah, not just Din Djarin. This is the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett because it almost entirely isn't one.
True.
Let's see. One I really liked. This episode has nothing to do with the show that surrounds it, but it's a total thrill. It feels like a definitive moment of new Star Wars eclipsing old Star Wars to save the franchise's worthy pieces. I really like that as well.
Yeah.
This would have been the perfect episode of The Mandalorian season 3, not the Book of Boba Fett.
Which theory had a good point. This fills in. It's cannibalizing from Book of Boba Fett, but it's filling us in for season 3 of Mando, where we don't need this information because we already have it.
Yes.
So for the Book of Boba Fett, though, it is cannibalism. They're taking out basically an entire episode of Boba material and giving it to Mando for the sole purpose of saying Mando's going to help Boba.
Yeah.
So from the aspect of the Boba Fett show, it's a really, really bad episode. But for Star Wars, it's an amazing episode.
Yes, it's great. It was, as its own thing, an amazing piece of Star Wars. Now, here's my theory. Before I guess we dive into everything about it, was this episode planned as the pilot of season 3 or the episode 1 of season 3 of The Mandalorian? And then everything kind of shut down with Mandalorian season 3 production because of the disputes with their actors, Pedro Pascal and other things. And then, they say, well, we don't have Pedro Pascal around. We need to do something else. They make the Book of Boba Fett, but they still had some stuff shot for season 3 of Mandalorian. And they had some lines recorded by Pedro Pascal. Notice, whose face did we not see this entire episode?
Which isn't surprising.
Pedro Pascal.
Not surprising.
He takes his helmet off now, though. Okay. there was several.
I still don't think that's a regular occurrence.
Sure, but
Not
there were
yet,
several
anyways.
periods where someone is talking to him, and he just sits there silently. Like the whole shipbuilding scene,
yeah.
he barely talked. So I would not be surprised if they had some lines saved up from certain maybe previous episodes,
Or they just did it later.
or they had him after they agreed later, they had him come in and record some lines. But if he's barely ever even in that suit because of the disputes they had
Yeah,
while
no,
recording the
that
show.
wasn't his body for sure.
Exactly. So, and my thought is maybe this was intended to be the pilot for episode or for season 3. And they said, okay, we have some material we can use to input this into the Book of Boba Fett show, and we may as well use it. So that's kind of the process that I have. I really think that this Book of Boba Fett show has been a very rushed process, and that's why we're seeing the low quality and the poor story writing. Because I just, when you look at what we see from Mandalorian, it's just this super high quality, awesomely written, well thought out, well choreographed fight scenes, high budget product. And when we go and look at what we have with this Book of Boba Fett show, it's something totally different. I mean, it looks like two totally different companies. Someone's yelling into their microphone. It looks like
again.
Oh, it looks like we have two totally different companies creating these two different shows. I mean, this episode was awesome. And it's what we wanted from Boba Fett, just with Boba Fett, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we've been waiting for it, man.
That's my philosophy, is that this was designed to go into a different show. But that's just me. Because they didn't even mention Boba Fett until the very last, 2 minutes?
Not even, 2 seconds.
All right, so let's dive into the episode itself. There's a lot to unpack here. We don't need to walk by it step by step and just talk through every little thing that happened, but I kind of want to. It's pretty exciting.
So good.
It was so good. So right off the bat, we see these Clatoonians, which we saw in season 1 of The Mandalorian when they were raiding the village, or what do we want to call that? The fishing village. And they're like butchers or something, right?
Yeah, that was such a cool. It almost felt a little out of Star Wars, especially with the the plastic
hanging down.
The plastic hanging.
Yeah,
dividers.
but I mean, they would still do that.
But it fit, but it was just like, because I've seen those many times in warehouses with the forklifts and
sure.
But it was still cool. I liked the vibe that it was giving off with the area of butcher shop.
When I first was watching it with Rachel a minute ago here, and as soon as the silhouette of the Mandalorian walks behind the little plastic things, I said, "That's not Boba. That's not Boba." I was super excited. But
see, I kind of thought they were trying to do a little fake out, like this spear looked like it may have been the rocket that goes behind his head.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, oh, I wonder what Boba's doing there. And it was like, it's Mando. We're starting off right away.
Yeah, I did not expect to get him right off the bat. I just thought, honestly, I thought we might see him at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And have him call in, and then he would just come in for the finale and help in a big fight. I did not think he would be this big a part of the story. I'm very glad to be surprised in that way. Wait, isn't it weird? So the person we've all grown up loving, Boba Fett, the person this whole show was about, we were so excited for this show. But the most excited I've been in this show is when the Mandalorian walks in. I was just kind of,
it's
I don't
not
know, did
Boba's
you guys feel
fault.
the same way?
It's not Boba's fault.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I always liked Din Djarin, but I always thought the show was great. I never thought he was that great of a character. I always thought the show was really good. But
he was great when he was mysterious, and it's a downfall of every show when you have less and less unknowns. The show can become stale.
Mm-hmm.
Like in any show, when the suspense of, oh, are these two characters finally going to get together? Finally, they have the give and take the whole show, and then finally they get together, and you're like, okay, now what? There's no suspense. But this show definitely brought the suspense back because he's out of his element. Because you're used to seeing Boba, so Mando is kind of out of his element as far as the scope of the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, what's going to happen? We have no idea.
Well, and the very next question I asked myself was, does he have the Darksaber still? What happened? Did Bo take it?
Quickly answered
that question real fast as he pulls it out and starts slicing up the dog people. It was a great scene. I was
good.
like, what? So our whole reasoning as to why Boba was not being savage is because they wanted us to see him as the good guy. I think everyone still sees Din Djarin as the good guy.
Oh yeah.
So that clearly wasn't the reason they were doing it.
Yep. I mean, it's just the old alien
Rule.
rule, whatever.
Yeah, you can
The
kill
old
aliens. doesn't
scapegoat where
matter.
you can kill as many aliens or stormtroopers with
Well,
helmets over their faces as you want, but
well, have
you shoot a
Boba kill some
person.
aliens then. I mean, for real. I need to see something.
No,
This
yeah,
was-
it was pretty crazy.
I mean,
and
he cut like 4 people in half.
yeah,
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this guy is a savage.
Even after the man was down and stabbed in the stomach, he says, "Nah, I'm gonna cut you in half, and then I'm gonna cut your dead head off."
yeah.
We're doing
Okay,
some
here's a question.
dissections.
Pulling out of the episode again and going back to our earlier talkings about was this rushed or was this already recorded? Was that line where he said, "I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold"? You think that was a copy paste of his line from season 1? The intonation sounded the same.
I'm sure we could very easily find out. Just
Yeah,
run the two
just-
side by side.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
think it was
funny.
the same. And
That'd be so funny.
I mean, I
not as
wouldn't
Oh,
bad
yeah,
as
this
them
is a good
reusing
one.
the Camino
Put that one
flashback
here.
twice.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was the same one. That was a cool thing though, or a cool little callback.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it
because he
for
does
sure.
say like that's my line, like that's something that he says.
Yeah,
It was
Mhm.
done really well because he said, "All right, let's talk about our options." And he says, "All right, here are your options." Yeah, I enjoyed that.
yes.
So he was just doing a job apparently to try to find some info as to where he could find the other Mandalorians, which
He also sliced up his leg too. Pretty
yeah,
bad.
which I thought, okay, let's talk about that.
I mean, yeah, no, I liked it. He
Um,
doesn't know what he's doing.
yeah, I
So-
mean, you aren't trained, which is something that Jedi have talked about a lot. If you're not trained with a lightsaber, you're gonna cut your own hand off. You see it in a lot of books and things is talked about.
Mhm.
Even in the book we just finished, David, The Light of the Jedi.
Still need to finish it.
Oh, you haven't finished it? Well, in like
No.
the very last chapter, the bad guys do acquire a lightsaber and they're afraid to touch it because they're afraid they're going to kill themselves with it because they don't know how to use them. So it's
Mm.
kind of cool because you see Din Djarin as he's wielding around this dark saber. He is not handling it the way you would handle a lightsaber, or at least the way we
Nope.
see an experienced person handle it.
You do
Very
better with
clumsy.
knives, probably.
Yeah. Oh, he does do better with knives.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
when we see him later fight Vizsla, what's his name?
As Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla. When we see him fight Paz Vizsla, when he's holding the dark saber, he loses.
It's always He
It's
does
not-
better giving it to Paz, basically.
yeah, it's
He's like, huh,
he
take this.
wins when the
die.
other guy gets the dark saber, and now he fights him with his knives and stuff. So
Mhm.
he definitely is not used to fighting with it, which I think will be a good arc for season 3, is to see
Yeah.
him train with it. Does he train with a Jedi? Does he train with Ahsoka maybe, or or even Luke? Because he does say that he wants to go find
Yeah.
Grogu.
And like
Made
before
something
I
for
help
him?
Boba, I'm
Interesting.
gonna go
isn't
see
it?
Grogu, is what he says, which is
Like-
crazy.
Well, he says
Are
I
we
need to
gonna
pay a
get
visit to
a-
a little friend. He could mean someone else.
It's like, man, are
Come
we
on,
getting a
come on.
Grogu initiate Jedi? Like
I just
Mando Jedi Grogu.
I don't know what we can expect with the whole Grogu thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
cool though. I like
We'll
it.
get to that in a minute.
Yeah, that's at the end.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the show. So how'd you feel about the whole? Let's just can skip past the whole bounty hunter stuff. It was cool to see how they had laid a path to their little coven.
Yep.
Coven.
Yeah.
That's like a witch's coven, isn't it? Isn't that what you
Yeah.
call it?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Whatever. Their little
Group.
hideaway. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are they the only 2 that survived? Is that what they were implying?
That's what they
I
said.
think that's
Yeah.
what.
That's what
They
they
said
said.
now we're 3.
Yeah, him
Yeah.
and the other 2.
Jeez. So
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean,
Gideon
because even
really-
in season 1, right? They had
Season
the
2.
pile of.
Man,
Or
the
what? I
armor.
thought it was
yeah, the
one.
pile of armor.
Oh yeah,
They
you're
had
right.
to
It was the
sneak
end of
out.
Before he
season 1.
left. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess they all died at the end of season 1, except for
yeah, they
the
all their armor.
huh. Wow.
Rip.
Well, so talk about that whole exchange that happens. The girl is there, the blacksmith, and then Paz Vizsla, and they heal him up. All is well. I thought it was really cool how she talked about the history of Mandalore and how the Empire wiped them out and that they
Yep.
only survived because they're on the moon of Concordia or Concord Dawn. Is that what it's called? Concordia, moon of Concordia,
Concordia. Yeah.
which is where Death Watch was. They were on the Concordia moon as well in the Clone Wars. So that was all interesting. I thought it was really cool to see the Imperial bombers destroying Mandalore.
Yeah,
Mhm.
flashback was so
Yeah, that
cool.
was pretty awesome. Which I was bummed we didn't see the cubic cities like we see in the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
I thought we would have seen that, but instead they had like this rounded off city shape.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Oh
but
wait, no, that's
kinda
right.
different.
That's ISIS. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Isn't
the
that
cities were in
capital?
like domes, but then on the inside they looked cubic, and all the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah,
on the inside.
yeah.
But from the
Mhm.
outside they were just the domes. Okay, yeah, that's right. So then Paz Vizsla says, "All right, I want to challenge you for the Darksaber." And the fight was
Before you go into that,
Yeah.
I liked it. It really
Training.
brought in kind of everyone, so we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
Brought up Tar Vizsla, which that was what, like 8,000 years ago, and she said over 1,000 years ago. Like,
was it 8,000?
I thought it was when
Google it.
when they bring up Tar Vizsla in the first mention of the Darksaber, where I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's in Rebels where they have the actual animation. Whichever time they have the actual animation of showing Tar Vizsla on the wall. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Vaguely.
it's at least like 3,000 to 8,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I think
Add a
so.
0. You know.
So Tar Vizsla doesn't actually have any books written about him.
That doesn't
I've
surprise
never
me.
even heard of him.
Yeah.
I think Filoni kind of,
so. I think
did that.
Filoni actually made him up, and he
As
as
doesn't.
well as the Darksaber, right?
Yeah, and the Darksaber.
Which
Yeah,
is
he made up the Darksaber for sure.
He doesn't
with George
have-
Lucas, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't have a birth date or time of death. So it just says prior to the sacking of the Jedi Temple.
We'll have to watch that. The history of
Mr. Vizsla.
So during the fall of the Old Republic is when he had died at least before that. That's all we know.
Huh.
Huh. So we don't have a confirmed date of life for him. Yeah, but that was cool. I mean, us as hardcore fans, we understand where the Darksaber came from and that it was a Jedi, both a Jedi and Mandalorian weapon. But they did kind of pull in all their fans so that now everyone's on the same page. I thought that was a good idea.
How about
Mhm.
that they added that the Darksaber is this super, super heavy
Yeah.
item?
What was up
it's
with
like-
that?
I'm like, it's a lightsaber. Like,
But it's
it
not,
doesn't
it
have-
doesn't use kyber crystal though.
What does it use?
I don't not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not kyber crystal because the kyber crystal.
I thought it was.
Wikipedia time. But yeah,
For-
they
what
definitely
was
made
it?
it.
I was watching something again.
They made it
Is-
seem like they were carrying around like this medieval broadsword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Darksaber doesn't use the kyber crystal. You want to
Hmm.
Google it?
I remember in Rebels when Kanan was training Sabine, he mentioned like feel the weight of it, like it's heavy.
Yeah,
Did
she
he?
did, and it was it was heavy for her as well. She said it's heavier than I expected.
Yeah. Still.
I think they're exaggerating it for live
Yeah.
action just to make it more of a weightier
Well-
physically and storyline.
Honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, the way that lightsabers have been handled in these TV shows has been a little bit disappointing to me
Yeah.
because
Go on.
when we see lightsabers in the movies, it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, Count Dooku, Yoda, Vader, Luke.
Mhm.
They're wielding these almost like they're fencing swords, but they can also be used with powerful strikes as well. But so far, what we've seen is Ahsoka's clunky fight with that old lady. We've seen Luke, with his two-handed swings through all of the
Yep.
through all the Death Troopers.
Which
And
matches matches his fighting
It
style.
matches his fighting style.
I
so
don't know
does-
about Ahsoka's was a little
Ahsoka's fight was off.
rusty.
Okay. But then now with the Darksaber, again, seems like it's super heavy. And then you go look at the movies. the sequel movies, heavy lightsabers with Rey and Kylo. Like, I don't know. I don't like this trend towards these lightsabers feeling like they're these super heavy, hard to wield things.
Yeah, let's get some better choreography.
Yeah, I like the, the faster moving, nimble
Yeah,
usage of a
finesse, the
lightsaber.
cool
We need to get
moves.
Cinderella back in here.
Yeah,
What's the guy's name in real life?
I don't know who you're talking
Shoot,
about.
it's a Cinderella is a play off of his real name.
none of us are gonna know, John.
No idea what you're talking about.
It's the Jedi
You mean the guy that
Temple-
trained the guy
the
that
Jedi
trained
Temple swordsman
Is
sword.
based off of the actual choreographer for the movies.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like his character is him.
CJ, you've been awfully quiet. What have you thought so far?
1 second, my
Oh, okay.
set died.
Perfect timing.
Very nice. Yeah, it was just weird. I was like, they
agree.
definitely overdid it, and it, like, man, even Moff Gideon, man, he didn't have that kind of trouble at all.
I mean, he like could barely pick up the freaking Darksaber. Din Djarin could. And then
Yeah,
even the
yeah.
big, huge guy, Paz Vizsla, he struggled with it too. It's like dragging it off the floor and swinging it like it's a club.
Yeah, like this
I did
thing
not
is
enjoy that.
definitely not like an anime sword.
Mhm.
I don't know what the deal is.
I liked the idea that it's going to be difficult for you to wield correctly, but I don't think you have to make it seem like a ton of bricks to do it.
I would wonder, like, something that I thought, like, does it get easier to wield the more you're connected to the force or channel the force through it?
Would
Something
imagine
something
so.
along those lines.
Well,
Like-
I mean, and she was saying like you're not going to be able to wield it when you're fighting it and trying to control it with your strength.
Yep.
So maybe,
That's kind of
Even
what
though-
I got from that.
yeah, even though he is not a force user, maybe he, as a being,
we
a
know
living
of.
being, yeah, as a living being, though, you still have the force within you.
Yeah.
Right. So you can still have a connection to the force without being a Jedi. So
Yeah,
maybe he just
being
needs,
at peace.
yeah, maybe he just needs to, have that connection with
Get
the
his
force,
act together.
and then he'll be able to start wielding the Darksaber more efficiently. But I definitely thought it was odd how heavy they made that thing seem. It seemed like it was like lifting Thor's hammer.
Yeah, I was like, man,
You have to be worthy.
not worthy, not worthy.
So quickly after that, he seems devastated that he's not a Mandalorian now because they asked
Man.
him about his helmet.
Yeah, I'd be like, screw
I mean-
you. I've got the dark saber.
Look, lady, you are the two last Mandalorians in the galaxy that still feel this way.
From Death Watch and Concordia.
Yeah. Like, no, they're the only two that feel this way. The rest of
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Mandalorians
yeah.
that are
Yes,
still
yeah.
alive don't feel that way about the helmet, right? So
Well, and
go ahead, David.
does she even know that
Probably not.
what's her face is even alive?
Bo-Katan.
Rob's not.
Yeah, because like she definitely avoided the question, and then like on top of that, she almost alluded to that she was dead or something, and that the
I don't
whole
think she
clan,
was
like they
alluding.
all died because they messed up.
I think that since they've been so cut off from society, they believe they're the only Mandalorians still alive. So that their way is the only way. I don't know why Din would have said, I met other Mandalorians and they don't follow the way as you do. But then I think even if he had said that they would have said, then they aren't true Mandalorians. We're the only real Mandalorians. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're just,
Oh,
they're,
yeah,
they're
absolutely.
literally just a cult.
Yeah. Or he could think, it would just, bring bad light on me.
Yeah.
Not even,
So
like bring him up.
I think that he must just still believe what they believe, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense for him to want their approval. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he must still think, you know what? I never should have taken my helmet off. To be a true Mandalorian, I need to, keep my helmet on, yada, yada, yada. Because it appears his quest now is to probably go eventually to go into those waters beneath the mines of Mandalore or whatever. So he
The
can be
Mines of
redeemed.
Moriah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's what he's going to try to do. But to me,
I
it's just
think
silly.
definitely, yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder what monsters down there that he has to fight to.
Oh, I'm sure there's
Like
something.
Mythosaur, maybe?
Mm.
Darth Vader or Darth Maul.
That's not Tarask. That's
A Gundark?
Gundark.
It would be interesting if there's mythosaurs. Because she did bring
Yeah.
up mythosaurs, says they exist in legend only. I mean, there could still be one somewhere, I imagine.
And the chosen one will ride one, right?
Yeah.
Just like Boba Fett, which kind of makes me think
Boba's
that Boba
running
Fett
a-
might end up
Everybody
leading
gets a
Mandalore.
creature.
Becoming Mandalore.
Leading
I-
Mandalore.
Boba?
I can't see that happening though.
He has a right to the throne through his.
Yeah, but he'd have
grandfather.
to defeat Din Djarin in combat to get the Darksaber.
He could defeat Din Djarin.
Why would they fight each other? They're friends.
I mean, I don't know if I believe that nowadays, John.
Would you
Yeah.
rather?
Yeah.
Have
Oh,
you
yeah, yeah.
seen them fight each other? Have you seen them fight?
Have you
One
seen
is
that old
definitely-
man throwdown?
One of them
Isn't too
In
fights.
his
dirty.
underwear,
One of them fights pretty good, and the other one fights like
In
a
his tighty
banta.
whitey.
like a bantha. Yeah, exactly.
No, but he's 100% health now, so he's got the
He
level
is
ups.
at full health now. He's powered
He's
up.
still
all the way.
old.
He is old.
Yeah.
That's true, and a little overweight.
Would you rather the show end with happy ever after lovey dovey, or the season end with some tension
Tension.
between Boba and Mando about
100%
recently?
tension.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I think it'd be forced.
Well, it
It wouldn't
depends on
make
how they
sense.
do
Could
it.
be. It could be
it
forced.
can't be a Game of Thrones where like season
All the-
finale they're on the same side, or
Yeah,
last second last show, and then the last episode, the last 10 minutes,
they're
he's
like, change your heart.
I want the throne.
Yeah, no, that would be stupid.
I
Plot
don't get what
twist.
they would fight about.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Boba Fett gets back to his visceral, and then he
Jedi
wants to
make,
take.
but it would
Jedi.
make no sense in 2 episodes, though.
No, yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
There's
Two
no
episodes,
way.
It wouldn't.
There's
He's
no
also
way.
like benevolent now, so
Yeah,
And he wants to stay on Tatooine.
yeah. I can't see.
Evidently.
I can't see in 2 episodes them being at each other's throats. It just doesn't make any sense.
I sure hope he's gonna wear his helmet more.
Who, Boba?
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. I hope he would wear his helmet more, and I hope Din wears his less.
Yep.
I don't know why I feel that way.
Yeah.
Crazy world we live in.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Is what it is.
Okay, so we haven't even really gotten into the meat of the episode. It's just there's been so much to discuss. But he gets off. He decides to go off planet, and right away I said to Rachel, my wife, and I was like, I wonder if he's found a ship to replace the Razor Crest yet.
What about the planet though? It was kind of like Silicamai, right? Is that the one?
The planet they were on? You mean the Halo ring?
Yeah.
Well,
the
that
Halo
too.
ring.
Well, isn't it Silicamai, the planet that's the ring around?
It's
but it
not a
wasn't even
ring,
around.
no,
the
it's
No.
an
planet.
actual planet.
No,
it
that was-
just looked
that
like a
was
space
an-
station.
That was a space
Polis
station.
Massa.
Yeah.
Polis Massa is the space station, but that's not a ring like that. It's a like asteroid. Space
You remember,
station.
but you remember the episode of Clone Wars when it's the Scottish twin or the Irish twin sisters, and then
What?
Tup or whatever kills.
Oh yeah. And
What
season
planet
6.
was that? Or was that Cato
don't know.
Nemoidia? No, it wasn't Cato Nemoidia.
Tup kills Tiplar episode.
No, it
wrote
wasn't
The
Kato.
Unknown is the episode.
I thought it was
They
Seleucamai.
fight Admiral Trench. I'm on Wikipedia right
Admiral
now.
Trench. What a meme.
Dude,
No, it's
Admiral
not
Trench just keeps
Seleucamai.
coming back. The planet is
Such a meme.
mm,
What planet does Tup
I thought it was funny, CJ, that
kill?
here you
they
go.
in the siege.
Ringo
like the
Vinda?
flashback,
Vinda?
The
all they
ring
showed
it
was
says the
the-
ring
the
space station.
robots.
Ringo Vinda.
Mhm.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that's totally different. It's just
I was
like
pretty
a
sure that was a
flat-
new thing they made.
Yeah.
'cause
Mhm.
I've never.
But it was
heard
the
of that
same
before.
concept, just
Yeah, it was a Halo ring. This is legitimately what it was.
'cause,
Yeah, it's cool,
Ringo
though.
Vinda is a space station around
But
a
it's
planet.
it's horizontal as well. It wasn't vertical like this, where the inside of the ring was the habited area.
Well, Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm
I see
saying?
what you mean. Yeah.
But he takes I don't know. Again, same thing with this episode as issues we've had with other episodes of Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. So much downtime spent on things that don't really progress the story sometimes. Like, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that. The whole public transport thing did progress the story in that showing he needed a new ship. but
Mhm.
we knew he needed a new ship. But I
Yeah.
suppose it did say, okay, without his new ship, he's had to rely on public transportation, turning his weapons in. It's probably super annoying and not efficient.
Dude, I thought they were gonna get that saber was gonna get stolen for sure. I
Yeah.
was like, my first thought was like, all right, the Mandalorians don't want him to have the dark saber anymore. They're
Yeah.
gonna like swipe it. They know he's gonna have to take public transportation, and this is
Mhm.
what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like got it all
100%.
played out.
I will
I'm like,
say,
oh,
as
it didn't
soon as he
happen.
opened that case up, I just sighed a huge sigh of relief. I was like, oh, good. All the weapons are still in there. So,
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, side quest avoided. Crazy.
side quest avoided.
So true.
We just
Yeah.
skipped it. Went to the main
Whole
They
quest.
could
half
have
a
fit a whole
season
nother
gone.
episode in there.
Dang. Cut that
It's crazy
down.
because that absolutely could be a decision they make.
Save
is-
some budget.
Yep. That's absolutely something they would have done in
Memes.
another episode. So he goes to, what was that lady's name again?
Peli Mola. Peli.
Something like that. Frizzy hair lady who apparently
Yeah.
dated a Jawa.
Yo.
What?
I was like, yo.
She keeps talking about how furry they are.
I was just like,
She keeps
ew.
bringing it up. Yeah.
She repeatedly
funny.
brings up how furry they are. Like I always thought like she was odd. Didn't feel a lot like Star Wars.
I agree.
But this was her best
100%.
episode. She was
I love
cracking me
her.
up.
Peli
Dude, I've
Motto.
always loved her. She's
Dude,
always
she
been
was
the best.
cracking me up today.
Every time she talks, it just takes me out of Star Wars.
Yeah,
For me, it
Ah.
takes me so like she's not that good of an actress.
no, she's not an actress. She's a comedian.
well,
She's
I
not
mean,
an
No.
actress.
Bill Burr is a good actor.
Yeah, well, he's done a lot of acting.
She's just like so scripted and like, well, golly gee, let me see
Yeah.
if I can get some more parts.
No, they definitely where they decided to save money was acting. I mean, like all the alien actors that they have in all these shows are just awful.
But there's 100 other actresses out there who would love to act and are
I'm
better.
not making an excuse.
And they could pay
I'm just
less
saying.
for.
Yeah. It seems like honestly, they have these friends.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah, yeah.
hey, you want to be in Star Wars?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to be in
And they're like,
Star Wars.
yeah, that'd be fun. haha." And they just
Hopeful.
throw them in, and they're awful. Like that
Yeah.
one episode where they
Machete.
rescue the Twi'lek from the prison.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one of those actors, horrendous.
Yeah.
Not the big dude.
The big dude was fine, but the Twi'leks were awful.
He's
Twi'leks were
he's a
bad.
very famous actor.
The Twi'leks were
Twi'leks
bad.
were bad.
It looked weird too, I thought.
Yeah,
They really did.
Like their heads.
They have
He's
still
in Shawshank
they've been,
Redemption. Clancy Brown.
they've been struggling with doing Twi'leks in these shows
Yeah.
because even the ones in Book of Boba Fett, they're a little bit better,
But you can still kind of tell that
but
it's
the
not-
headdress is just not done quite right.
It was crooked. It was crooked for
yeah.
The barkeep, the bar
Yeah,
owner
the
chick. It
girl.
was crooked.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
wish
Oh.
I would not be opposed to them just
Fine.
CGing.
Me
it
either.
on.
Yeah, like it's that gets
It-
expensive
dude.
and
I mean, Thanos was all CG. He looked fine.
that's a full feature $2 billion movie.
Spend the money. You'll make it back. You spend it. If you spend it, they will pay for it.
But just as many people will watch it with it looking.
I
like it
know.
is than will watch it.
I hate going, oh, that doesn't look right when I'm watching a show. You know?
They just need to straighten it out and then it's fine because it looks better practical. Return of the Jedi, that Twi'lek, it was perfect. It was fine. And she was moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Why
also
is that?
dark in that.
It was. But
It
like,
was.
what if I want to see a Twi'lek Jedi, you know, and I want to see her do or him do like acrobatic things, but they make those styrofoam things so
Ayla Secura.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right? Or Ahsoka even. How are we going to see Ahsoka fight, you know, more acrobatically like we have always known her? We're just not going to see it.
I
in
hope
the
it
guess
is.
Ahsoka
not.
show?
Well, we
Oh.
saw her acrobatically and they had to make her Montrals or Leku really short.
But she wasn't really fighting acrobatically.
She was flipping all over the place with Mando when she fought Mando.
Yeah,
She-
she flipped at least once.
Did she flip?
Because
Yeah, because she like flipped around him.
he wrapped around her with her with
Okay.
his thingies, and then she jumped up and cut him. And,
That's right. Okay, maybe
all
they
over the
can make
place.
it work. I need to watch that episode again. That was great.
But
I
they
think-
just cut her Leku in half, is what they did.
I
Yeah.
think really all they would need to do for like the Twi'lek is where the headpiece connects to the head, just smooth that out with CG. CGI, and then like you could save a lot of money still, and still have a good
Well, 'cause
transition.
For every Twi'lek, they put some kind of head ornament on it to make a seam or to cover up.
And then
the
they have
seam.
they have. It's like
That's what I
when you
mean.
get a
But, like,
wig or a bald.
Not all
CG
Twi'leks
cap.
have that though. Some Twi'leks just go bald, and we'll never see that. It seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the barkeep, did she have the
No, she had
headdress?
some headdress on as well.
What about the other one, the yellow one?
The mayor guy.
No.
The guy that ran away.
No, the chick in the bar, the yellow. There was another one, and there was a guy
like
too.
her servant or whatever.
Yeah, I can't
Let's see.
remember.
I don't
The one that
remember.
got
I
shot.
Yep, she's got a headdress on. Every single one of them do.
Which they pretty much always do.
Yep. So there's been 4 so
Even
far.
in animated form, they pretty much always.
There's been
do.
the mayor, or the mayor domo, whatever his name is, and then the main bar lady, and then she had 2 more as well: the green Twi'lek and the green guy, and then the yellow girl, and all of them had headdresses on. Interesting. Yep. So far, all 4 of them have.
bounty hunting.
I don't know how we got talking about Twi'leks, but whatever.
I don't know.
What else?
That was a
Oh,
good
The
time.
wish list.
so he starts talking about she called him saying she had a ship for him to replace the Razor Crest, which honestly, when I first thought about this, I was like, really, an N1 starfighter? It doesn't
What did
seem
you
like
think it was?
I knew
When it was
was.
underneath the sheet,
You think it was
Yeah.
Pod Racer?
I
it did look like a
I
pod
did
racer
think it
for a
was
second.
Anakin's pod racer.
it did look like a pod racer
refitted.
for a second.
How is he gonna turn a Pod Racer into a starfighter?
I don't know.
That was
Very
just
good
It was,
question.
I've
I
seen
agree with
dumber
David.
things.
It was my first gut
Well,
reaction.
I knew that there was gonna be an N1 starfighter because a YouTuber I watched had thought that he
Yeah,
had heard
I
something.
I heard that as well, and so I kind
So
of like
new.
made that work in my head. Like,
Um,
oh yeah, that's an N1.
But it's close as you can get to a pod racer because Anakin flew 2 things in the Phantom Menace, and one of them was a pod racer, and one of them was the starfighter. And he goes,
And
"Now
we even
this
went on
is
his-
pod racing."
And we
Do you
even
think it was
went on
actually
his pod
his?
racetrack.
What's
Was
that?
it actually his
We even
N1?
went on his pod racetrack.
It did.
I don't know
I don't.
I do.
hope not.
if it was his N1 starfighter.
Oh, not that. I mean,
No,
it
he's
was
saying
his
he went
pod-
through like the race.
Oh
track.
yeah, he went
Yeah.
through the racetrack. 'Cause he went through Beggars
Yeah.
Canyon and everything.
Yep. Yeah, I
it
was
was
like,
great.
yo, that's
You
cool.
you saw the exit ramp or whatever you would call that
Yep.
service ramp.
That was smashed
Dude,
still from
yeah,
from
still
Anakin.
smashed. Years
No
maybe,
pod races anymore.
after they've seen someone do it once, they probably just always repeated the tactic after that.
True.
It worked for Anakin. It can work for me.
But
Fair
I
enough.
don't know how
Close
your
to the
guys' speaker setup is, but when I was a kid and we would watch Star Wars, we had the surround sound.
My dad
Even to
had
the point
surround
where
sound.
when we would watch episode 2, there was some bottles that were next to the speaker and it actually fell off from the top.
Oh,
Thankfully, we had
Huh.
something soft and it caught in there, but so much rattling stuff. I wish so bad that I had surround sound for this episode.
yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
awesome.
The sounds were so
It
so
was
good
great.
and would have
Just
been
even just them
even
turning
better.
the starfighter on, it was great. The whole scene. I was apprehensive though about this starfighter. I
Me
was
too,
like, the Razor Crest makes sense. He's a bounty hunter. He needs to have cargo. He needs to have a place to live. You know what I mean?
yeah.
A starfighter,
absolutely.
you just sit in it, you fly to your spot, and you have to get out. You can't sleep there.
Yeah,
It's not a place to
that was my
live.
biggest issue too. Was
Yeah.
he can't like sleep in there?
Yeah, it's definitely not a home that flies.
Well,
Mhm.
maybe you take out the old
You just
Just at
astromech
home.
port.
kick
and
back.
You do a little modification.
Yeah, but that astromech port is gonna be used for something else.
Yeah.
a
soon-
certain
The little
young one.
boy.
As soon as they made it, I was like, wait, where's R2 supposed to go? I said, oh, that's glass. That's gonna
No,
fit
you know what
Grogu
I
in it."
said?
Huh.
I know where
Co-pilot.
BD1 is gonna go.
BD. Yeah, what the heck? BD1? Do you think
Yeah,
it was
was-
the same model?
No,
Dude,
no.
that would be so cool.
it was not. No way, it was the same.
Oh,
How do you
man.
know?
Well,
you
you
don't.
don't, but
You don't.
Because we know that the R5 is the same model as the one that Luke didn't want because it had a bad motivator.
it would have made
It's
sense.
R5, you has a bad motivator. How could it not make sense? We don't know where he ended up.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is long after.
Watch.
Long.
Watch. Jedi Fallen
BD1.
Order 2 is
Dude,
going
it's
to
Dave
end on
Filoni, man.
Tatooine. Dave Filoni is just,
Yeah.
he likes to
Okay, yeah,
put
yeah.
everywhere he can.
Well, we need more. We need more.
Puppet
It is
strings.
it is a similar color scheme as the
Color
the
scheme.
OG.
I put on 100 different color schemes on that BD.
Well, no. The
BD.
stock actual the canon color scheme is the white with the red
With the red
markings
stripes.
around it,
Yes.
and he's got
Mhm.
like faded red, or he's just faded to white, pretty much.
Give it to him.
I mean, this would be like 20 years later.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
No, I
Maybe
loved
so.
it. He was one of my favorite aspects of,
yeah, it was cool to
Yeah.
see
Fallen
how he
Order.
operated, much like he did in the game as well.
and his
You know?
personality.
Mhm.
That
Yep.
actually was a really big
Hologram.
tell, is because we know that,
Droids have personalities.
well, the
The good ones.
main character, the good droids have
Yes.
personality.
Yes.
C-3PO, R2, R5 doesn't really have a personality.
The ones without the restraining bolts.
Exactly. So, I mean, he did act exactly like BD1.
Dude.
So,
You gotta go say, BD, I need a stim, and see if he shoots one up, and you grab it.
For those who don't know, BD is from
Jedi
the
Fallen
Star
Order.
Wars Fallen
Oh,
Order
yeah,
video
yeah.
game. The droid accompanies you all over and helps you solve
Maybe-
puzzles. And
maybe the
do all kinds of
greatest
crazy stuff.
Shows you your mini map, like how he was showing the panel to.
Yep.
Din.
Yeah, a 3D map.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool.
I maybe one of the greatest sidekicks in video game history.
Oh yeah.
I love that little guy.
It's very helpful.
Very helpful, especially when you're like, I don't know where the heck to go, and you would push a
Yeah.
little button, and he would run off in the path. Okay, just follow him.
Good
Wait,
boy.
Yeah.
wait, what?
I didn't
yeah.
know
You would
this
do
either.
that?
Yeah, if you would say,
I never knew this.
click.
I didn't have that.
There was some button push you could push, and if you were near enough to an objective and you couldn't find it, you could, like, I think it was down arrow on your D-pad,
Oh.
and he would run to it, and you could.
I
find
thought
it.
you meant like because I got stuck in the bottom of Dathomir so many times. I had to Google how to get out of it or to get
Yeah.
down there. That would have been so
Yes.
nice if he was like, "Come over here, turn
You
left
know,
here."
You could hit it just like to go to an objective or something.
Okay,
But when
that-
you were returning back to your ship, you were on your own.
That doesn't make me as
Gosh.
angry. That would have been.
I
nice,
was
though.
kind of mad there wasn't fast travel.
So
in
many,
that game.
so many complaints about that game. Are people like, how do I get back to my ship?
I literally had to have like a YouTube video just like playing on repeat.
I think I had issues with it like one time on that first planet, and I was like, what the heck? Where
Okay,
the
no,
heck do I go?
Did you 100% the game though?
No, I didn't. 100%.
Okay, well there you go. If you want 100% the game,
You know, I've been thinking about going back 100%.
because you have to go
But,
find
like,
all the
Play on
chests.
hardest
and-
difficulty.
Are
No,
there any
no,
more
I'm not about that
cutscenes
life.
though?
I don't think so.
See, I don't have any reason just to go explore
know.
a world.
Me
with
either.
no-
Yeah, I just like seeing that.
If there was like
100%.
side quests or something, then I would.
They added a like training room where you can fight against different.
Yeah, I've done that. I did that a few times. That was fun.
Do you like how the Master Jor, whatever his name is, that dude's like unbeatable?
Jaro Patel,
I never had any
Yeah.
issues with him.
the
You literally
The
can't
Lasat?
beat him. Yeah, Little Sot.
Oh,
You
I haven't
literally-
fought him.
You literally can't break his guard. He's
Oh,
just-
really?
is
he-
that the
he-
point?
And then he just like owns you.
Probably.
And you're like, okay.
Interesting.
Well, how did this guy die in the Clone Wars? I don't get it.
The guy's a tank.
This guy's Yoda.
All right,
He was-
let's
I
let's
really
finish
liked his
up the
character
episode.
anyways. Yeah.
So, how'd you guys feel about that N1 Starfighter? By the end of it, I mean, I was wasn't super excited about that being a ship. By the time I saw it, I was like, this thing's freaking awesome.
So cool.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make sense from the points we mentioned earlier. It's not really a place to live, but man, seeing that thing fly around in the chrome with the yellow accents.
Chrome was amazing.
I want a UCS
Yes.
Mando.
Dude, we're gonna
Dude,
get it.
Starfighter.
All I could do as soon as they build it, I was like, I can't wait to get this in Lego.
Yep.
But what it needs to be though, so the UCS N1 Starfighter had those chrome Lego pieces, and
That'd be so cool.
it's so hard to find. Like you cannot.
Well, it was
Get one
$40
now.
when it came out, and
Yeah,
now it's like
now it's like-
400
Yeah,
or
they
200.
need to release this ship with.
Well, you know what
no
they're gonna
studs,
do?
No studs on the outside.
Eh.
All chrome.
We're very minimal.
Very
Yeah,
minimal.
I guess
studs.
minimal studs. I like some studs, but if they would do anything, they would do the Infinity Gauntlet style
Sure.
metallic,
Yeah.
the dull metallic.
Dull gray. Dull
Which, to be
metallic.
fair, that is more does have a lot more longevity.
Yeah, I
Can't really
suppose.
chip it. That chrome stuff you can chip, and it can.
Yeah, it's just
It's a
like the
little more
chrome
wear.
lightsabers. If you ever had
Yeah.
those never lasted.
Oh no, they were awful.
Yeah,
I remember always wanting them, but then years went by and they were no good.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I'll want to have a model of that. I mean, it just looks awesome with the like boosted engines on the sides, and you can tell how
lasers.
extra cannons and everything.
The
Now,
huge engine on the
that
underside
was
of
the
it.
the engine on the underside was cool, but what I did not like is like the big hood. What do they call
Yeah,
that?
it
Yeah.
looked too much like a
Hot rod.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not like that as much. I thought that was
Should have
gonna
been
be
covered.
It should have been covered. If it was covered, it'd been no issue.
Yep. And covered some more of the side turbines as well.
Yes,
Just
yes.
Yeah.
maybe eventually it'll get covered, but
Played it all up.
yeah.
Put some Beskar on it.
Dang, a Beskar ship. Can you imagine how heavy that would be?
Is it?
I
I thought
I mean,
Beskar's
that
light.
ship can take it.
Yeah, but the metal they put on ships is designed for space.
Oh.
I can't.
Wait, we
imagine
didn't talk
doing
about
that.
what do we think that the armor made
Oh, she made him a
Grogu.
helmet.
Yeah,
helmet?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you can see Din Djarin's holding it in that cloth. It has ears on it.
Well, no, that was just she
That's just how they tied it.
yeah.
I thought it was like a chain link thing. She has
Well,
all
yeah,
those
but
little
it did
rings
have
that they made.
it did have. So you think it's like an armor, chain link armor?
Yeah,
That's kind
I
of the
thought about
consensus. Yeah.
it looked like something from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. The
Like when
Yeah.
mithril.
Frodo gets a little mithril vest,
Yeah.
but for Grogu.
Because
All right.
when they showed the what's it called? Yeah, like what Carl was saying.
The spear getting melted down. They had the little rings.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
like
the
she
rings.
had sewn the rings
Mhm.
together to make a chainmail armor.
Be kind of cool.
But he was so close to opening it, and then he didn't. I was like, come
I
on.
don't
dude.
know. This looks a lot like a helmet.
It would be sick.
I'm like 50-50. I can't
But-
decide.
I don't know.
We'll probably find
But
out.
he'd
but
grow it out. He'd grow out of it though.
Yeah, no, he would. He'd grow out of a helmet and he grow out of
Oh,
anything.
would he? How
Yeah,
many
Yeah.
hundred years old is he?
he's about half the size of Yoda.
It does bring up some good questions. So
Is
I'm
he?
reading this article and it says it's shaped like the head of Grogu. So you could think it's a helmet. But then it's also small enough to fit inside of the palm of his hand. So maybe it's chainmail. But then if it's chainmail, would it really be big enough to go around Grogu's like whole torso?
Yeah, that's what I was
And his
wondering.
ears and stuff.
Yeah.
maybe it's just like an armband or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Or something that my roommate and
lightsaber
I were
hilt.
thinking. Yes, a lightsaber hilt.
Something
'Cause
to
that's
house the
what
kyber
the-
crystal.
Because that's what the dark saber is. It's a Beskar lightsaber hilt.
That'd be interesting.
That would be cool. But he has to build his own lightsaber.
Yeah.
Luke would
I
have
mean-
none of that.
Yeah.
Also,
Never know, man.
would she make like a weapon handle?
I know she
But
just
she said
said
they
that it
don't-
has.
It can't be a
Weapon.
weapon. It has to be armor.
Yeah. But then the
Fair.
whistling birds are weapons. And those are made
And
of
they are made
Beskar.
of.
Yeah, but it's a little
Beskar.
different. More of an
Uh,
accessory.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that we saw our favorite New Republic pilot again. Old fat guy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's kind of
Like-
funny. I know him from. I don't know if you guys have seen Kim's Convenience.
Mm.
Negative.
It's
Uh-huh.
a show about a Korean family, and because he's Korean, and so
Oh
he
yeah,
has
yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen clips about
He's
that
like
guy.
oh, he used to do the sneak attack.
Uh-huh.
He talks like that, even though his normal voice is his character, and
Yeah.
it's so funny to see him in this.
Yeah, he has like.
Yeah.
Does he have a daughter or something that works in the store? Yeah. I've
Well,
seen-
his son is Sima Liu from Shang-Chi.
Oh wow.
um,
That was a funny interaction.
it was. I thought it was much like pulling over a guy in a crazy fast car, and he just
Yep.
takes off, and they're like, that's not really chasing him down. But it was cool, and that actually was one of the bigger hints that I had toward this being episode 1 of season 3. I
Mhm.
don't feel like I feel like that would have fit much better because they even talk about the things that happened during the Mandalorian,
Yep.
in the previous season with
Like I thought I
Mhm.
saw you.
yeah, that would make a lot more sense if it's in episode 1 of season 3 of the Mandalorian, and
Yeah.
especially because these are characters that we had come across before. These characters have not been involved in the Book of Boba Fett at all.
No.
So to me, it would have made more sense in that case.
Well, and something I thought too. What if that would have also been kind of a jumping point for the Rangers of the New Republic? Because these guys are like, they're really trying to dig into what this is, and they're like reoccurring for a reason.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's-
I mean,
that's
those
what I
guys
think. They're
they were like
investigating it.
the team that was making the Avengers.
Yep.
Yeah. But now we know that show's been nixed because of Gina Carano being fired. Like that show, that show got canceled, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, episode 6 and 7. So we're gonna have. He says he's gonna work for Boba for free. When he talks to Fennec Shand, so he's gonna work for Boba for free. He's gonna help him out fight the Pikes.
He's
I
gonna
guess
get the slave one.
Is that all we're gonna? You think he'll get the slave one? I think he likes his
Probably
ship just
not.
fine.
Nah, not that he has a ship now.
No, I don't think so. I think Boba keeps
Boba's gonna give him something, because that's just how Boba is, you know.
Information.
Generous guy.
Information.
I don't think so
He's
Maybe
got to give him
information.
something.
Information.
because he's so benevolent. Give him a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah, I mean he is so far.
A big Mandalorian smooch.
Might give you a
I
job.
wouldn't be surprised if he gave him some like access to, like some high class information to help get Mandalore on his side.
I
Or
will
something.
teach you.
Yep.
how
Try to
ride
figure
a
out where
banta.
Grogu is, man.
Yeah, something like that. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Where's
But-
Luke at?
It sounds like Dan already knows where.
Okay, let's talk about that.
David, kind of what you said. If they use that as a plot to be like, I'm gonna help you find Grogu. It was like, you helped me with the Pikes. I'm gonna help you find Grogu. I wish he would have just told us. Because why would he say, I'm gonna go find my little friend first before I help you
Exactly.
if he didn't know where he was?
So what was the quote exactly? Do you guys remember?
No.
I don't.
I think he
Not
says I have
exactly,
to pay
but-
a visit to a little friend first.
First, he definitely said first. Like, I'm not helping you until I.
So does
Visit.
that mean we're gonna have another episode of Din Djarin?
It wouldn't make sense to have.
Or are we just not going to have?
I could see it.
Is Din not going to be in the next episode at all, and he comes back for episode 7?
Because he saw something
Because he-
off
because
screen
he's
that we'll
off
see in
seeing-
Mando season 3.
Well, maybe he's just off seeing Grogu.
Wouldn't that take longer than the timeline of 2 episodes though?
Who knows? I mean, our first 5 episodes took 6 years.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was filling in gaps we already knew existed. We don't
Okay.
know.
I'm gonna listen to the quote real quick. Tell him it's on the house, but first, I gotta pay a visit to a little friend. So we imagine he's talking about Grogu, right? Can you think of anyone else he would be talking about?
Yeah.
I can't, but I
Uh,
think it has to be somebody else.
The
Yeah,
Mithril.
That's too big of like a quest for him to go on, like
In
in,
one
between
episode.
episodes.
I
yeah.
agree. It doesn't make any sense.
They would also want to show it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's something they would show.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just have him go see Grogu and then
Random,
come
yeah.
back. You know what I mean?
I had a really great time. Let me tell you all about it.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. So
That would
who's this
be
friend he's got to go see
infuriating.
first?
It's Grogu.
No,
Maybe
there's
Bill
no
Burr.
way.
Bill Burr called him your little green friend.
There's no way he goes and sees Grogu and comes back for episode 6 or 7. Unless he just
Dude.
leaves and he doesn't help Boba.
I mean, or he could come back at the very end.
Then this episode
With
was real weird.
Grogu and Luke
Yeah.
to save
Yeah.
the day.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be
Avengers
awful.
I'm with
Assemble.
CJ.
It's
I
so
think he's- I think he's gonna go see somebody else. Who
Dude,
are we
who?
missing?
No, we're not missing anyone.
I mean, Grief Karga.
Frog Lady.
True, it could be
Gina.
Frog Lady.
I mean, that's it that I can think of.
Is it that guy in the desert? I forget his name.
Cobb
He's
Vanth.
dead.
What
Oh,
makes
is
you
he?
think he's dead?
Are you
No,
talking about the
Queel.
Ugnaught?
Queel
Quill?
is dead.
Quill's
No, I
dead.
was
Quill's
talking
dead.
about
Cobb Vanth, the
not
guy that
Quill.
had Boba's armor.
My little
I mean,
friend.
maybe.
Yeah, he wouldn't call him his
I
little
don't-
friend.
I don't know. Like
More
Grogu's
acquaintances.
the one who matches that. It just makes no sense plot wise.
It does not make sense. Why would
Well,
he go?
it doesn't
see
make
Grogu
sense plot wise to have
before
a
he
whole
helps Boba?
Mandalorian episode either.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I just can't wrap
For
my
the
head
book
around
of
it.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba needs him right now. So he's gonna fly to wherever the heck Grogu is. Say, "Hey Grogu, here's
Dude,
some armor."
He
and
just
fly
got the
back to
Naboo.
Boba.
He just got the Naboo thing. He can go
Anyway,
so fast.
Yeah, but does he even know where he is?
He's
I
got
mean, maybe Luke
kind of
told
like
him
alluded
where-
to it.
Is
yeah. It's
Luke
not
like living in one specific place? Or is he like bouncing around though?
Well, I mean, at this time, he would be setting up his Jedi temple. or
Yeah, it's not like he's going. It's
Finding
not like
Jedi.
Luke and Grogu is a secret. You know, they're not a galaxy secret like
no.
Luke in Episode 4. No one knows where Luke Skywalker is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did they know
Like-
about Luke?
Well, I mean, I'm saying in
They
general,
didn't
like
s-
when Obi-Wan took Luke to Tatooine, it was a
was
secret.
hidden.
No one knew he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. He didn't seem to know about Luke before Luke just randomly showed up. So
He
why would he
didn't,
just
because-
now know where?
No,
he
we don't
didn't know
think
who
that.
Luke was because he was living under a rock. But the rest of the galaxy knows who Luke Skywalker
Yeah,
is.
because Luke is the leader
Oh,
of
maybe so.
essentially the kind of like the face of the New Republic. in a
everyone knows
way.
about the farm boy who turned to a Jedi that blew up the Death Star.
But do they?
Dude,
Yeah, I mean, they talk
I want
about
to
it
know if they do.
in the sequel movies. They talk about how he is the legend that everyone rallies behind.
That's
Oh,
true.
really?
Yeah.
that's fair.
But did he
Um,
become like that later or now?
I think everyone knows who Luke.
I think
Skywalker
about
Yeah,
that
I've-
sometimes. Like, do people? Does in Return of the Jedi when they're all celebrating, do they all know
is. Who did
Luke
it.
Skywalker?
How would the
defeated
legend-
evil Emperor?
How would the legend not spread?
Well, it would spread in the years
Well-
to follow of the people in that band.
Well,
Luke
sure.
would have to tell somebody about it, right?
Or Han or Leia or
Well, yeah, I'm
anyone that was involved.
Well, no, it would have to be Luke went to the
It
Death
would.
Star though, like
Because no one
by
else
himself.
knows about.
Yeah, but Luke didn't
the
even destroy
Emperor.
the Death Star.
right. So like, why would they assume that it was him?
if anything,
like,
it was
as a
yeah,
legend.
if anything, it was Lando.
I don't
It's a huge plot hole, I suppose.
I suppose. I mean, I guess not. I imagine he probably said
Maybe
mean,
it's the first one.
he
But-
ended up taking his Darth Vader off planet and burning him. So I imagine, he probably told his sister and he probably told Han, and Han didn't keep it a secret. People talk about
And-
these things.
All the future adventures that they will have, I imagine, becomes
Jakku.
legend.
Yeah, and that he starts to train more Jedi and stuff. So people are gonna hear stories and know who he is. You would think.
I
I
know.
heard
But I don't
who you
know.
are.
I do wonder how in the world we're going to get this whole Grogu
My
thing
little green
in
friend.
2 episodes. I don't see it. So we'll see.
I
Yeah,
don't see it being done well. But I
No.
could see it being done poorly.
That's
If-
that's reassuring.
If anything, he is going
Goals.
to hop on his N1, and since it's super fast, he's gonna fly to wherever Luke and Grogu are and say, "Hey, Grogu, how you doing? Oh, I'm training well. Good. Here, take this armor." And Grogu's gonna be like, "Let me come with you," and he comes with him.
Can I go with him? Can I go?
And Luke's like, he's too old. He's 60, too old to be trained. And
too old to begin the training.
and he's too much dark side in him.
Yeah, I
Very
mean,
trash.
he really does.
He does have a lot of dark side in him. Got choking people out left and right. And
One of those
then they fly
stormtroopers.
back and he helps Boba, but I just feel like that'd be a waste. It'd be weird. It
That'd
would
be
feel
kinda
like
weird.
everything that they did in season 2 of The Mandalorian would be pointless.
Yeah,
Trying to get him with Luke just to take him back. I don't
there's no way.
yeah,
Got a
it doesn't-
vacation.
Doesn't make sense to me. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up this episode of the
Oh,
Rogue
we got
Podcast.
we got one more thing,
What's that?
or 2 more things. Number 1,
Oh.
we got some video game leaks.
Oh
or
yeah.
releases.
Yeah,
news.
releases. So EA and Respawn have announced officially that they are working on Jedi Fallen Order 2, as well as an FPS game, which is further along in development, apparently, than the following game coming up, which is a strategy game. I'm not sure. It says it's gonna be turn-based and action.
Did they say
So-
turn based?
It says action cross with turn-based.
Huh.
So I
And
don't
I-
know if that's gonna be like Galaxy of Heroes type thing or what.
I hope, man. I hope it's either because they've been adding a lot of support to Empire at War, the
Mhm.
real-time strategy game,
Yeah.
out of nowhere, which is kind of weird. Like, the thing hadn't had an update in like 7 or 8 years.
Who owns Galaxy of War?
I know Petroglyph, I think was the developer. I don't really know per se. I know it was kind of a smaller game compared to some of these other ones, but it was a great game. And people are thinking that, that's gonna get some kind of a new release or something like that. And I'd be so down for that.
Yeah, it's not It's not affiliated with Respawn Entertainment, so I wouldn't think those are connected at all.
Yeah, turn base.
Yeah,
Could
so
be
I don't
like
know what we
a,
expect with those, but
Could be like a civilization in space.
mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure
Maybe.
what we should see. I hope one thing I do know is the people that are writing the first person shooter game really seem to be paying respect to Star Wars. It says, I'm so excited to tell a story in the best storytelling I forget what he said, scope that's ever been created. And just an honor it is to be able to tell a story in that way. So it looks like we're not going to be getting a multiplayer game, but maybe more so a first person shooter story, which I think would be really interesting. One of my favorite games I've ever played is Republic Commando. I love Republic Commando 2.
Such
He
a
says
good
it,
game.
he says it's a story he's wanted to tell for years. He's excited he gets to do it in a video game format. So I'm very excited to see how that'll go and what that'll be about. No idea. All we know is EA is not working on a Battlefront 3. They were originally going to create Battlefront 3, but with the Battlefront 2042, or I should say Battlefield 2042 going so poorly right now, they are shifting all their focus to support that game and try to save it. So we'll see what comes from that. What was your other piece of news, David?
So the other one is, I've kind of briefly mentioned this to you guys before, but the very first NFT platform for Star Wars NFTs is out now. It's called Vivi. They have these, NFTs you can get on the app that are also backed up on the blockchain. You're going to be able to sell them soon and everything. And man, those things are going. They started for like $50 a pop, and they're going for like thousands
So
now.
these are like digital copies or digital
collectibles.
originals. Yeah.
Yep. And they have very limited mint numbers, the very limited supply.
We are not
And-
offering investment advice.
Yep.
Buy at your
Yeah.
own risk.
Yep, buy at your own risk.
There we
Yep.
go.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy because they drop for like $50. These are like golden statues. They're pretty cool looking. And you can display them in like augmented reality, take pictures with them. Have like
Augmented reality.
Yeah, digital
augmented.
digital gold
Okay.
figures.
Yep. And then you can also have your own like showroom full of them, and take pictures and stuff. But yeah, they started at like $50 a pop, and those two, the R2 was the very first one they released, and that's 6K right now. And then the C3PO is like 3K. And
Jeez.
man,
Wow.
Darth Vader, when he comes out, is going to be like 20K.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. I'm gonna get me some Darth Vader.
Okay.
That's all you, man.
Have
got
fun.
I will.
Anything else that I'm missing out on?
I don't think
Nothing
so.
at all.
We're
All
gonna
right,
keep
well,
going through the books.
I did finish The Light of the Jedi. The next book that I want us to read is in preparation for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming out. I want us to read Master and Apprentice, the book
Ooh.
about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. I think
Oh,
it'd be really
yeah.
fun to go through and just kind of see his training regiment, because I imagine we'll see quite a few Qui-Gon Jinn flashbacks or whatnot.
I hope so.
I think it would be a really interesting read for us. So finish up Light of the Jedi. We can do a full review on that. I did finish it. My first review in the first 20 chapters of the book, I was not very interested.
Thrilled.
Yeah, but now that I finished the book, I'm really excited about the rest of the High Republic. We'll talk about that more in a future episode. But for now, this has been the Rogue Podcast signing off. May the Force be with you always.